Welcome to this new and special edition of the Queer God Squad. We are the coolest pastors you will ever meet.
Faith and religion can be complicated for the LGBTQ plus community. Surveys show that evangelical faith is a justification for the greatest attacks on the LGBTQ plus community.
So, the Queer God Squad is going to explore our religious community, explore the big news of the day and what it means to you. And we are going to explore if we can find some places that help heal the pain and hurt religion can be responsible for. We know you're going to find some hope, peace, and fun in our conversation.
It's 3 p.m. and the Queer God Squad is broadcasting daily.
This is live, and then we are available on demand.
We are available on all smart televisions, including Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, Amazon Fire TV, YouTube, and Facebook. In the entire world, nothing like this has ever existed for the LGBTQ plus community before.
I am Reverend Dr. Darrell Watkins, the senior minister here at Sunshine Cathedral.
I am Reverend Dr. Robert Griffin, the executive minister here at the Sunshine Cathedral.
I am the Reverend Kevin Tisdall, the minister of education at Sunshine Cathedral.
Radical GOP and evangelicals have launched a culture war on our LGBTQ plus community. They want to push you back in the closet. We're not going.
At Sunshine Cathedral, we are here to tell you that you are God's miracle, not God's mistake. Our commitment in partnering with Happening Out Television Network and Queer News Tonight is to give the LGBTQ plus faith community this voice for hope, for change, that you are not alone.
Happening Out Television Network is a 501c3 nonprofit media platform in the television and radio model of PBS and NPR, but designed for our LGBTQ plus community. The Queer God Squad is part of one of the largest LGBTQ plus media companies in America, Hotspot Magazine and Happening Out Television Network.
Our mission is to support the 10 pillars of the LGBTQ plus community, including the Black community, Latino, lesbian and queer women, trans, students and youth, seniors, HIV/AIDS healthcare, social justice, business, and our 10th pillar is faith. Help us support our LGBTQ plus community. This is the Sunshine Cathedral perspective. Mississippi starts court-ordered practice of allowing religious vaccine exemptions for students. Mississippi is starting the court-ordered process of letting people cite religious beliefs to seek exemptions from state-mandated vaccinations that children must receive before attending daycare or school. Mississippi is one of the poorest states and has high rates of health problems such as obesity and heart disease. But it has received praise from public health officials for years because it has some of the highest rates of childhood vaccination against diseases such as polio, measles, and mumps. In April, U.S. District Judge Sewell Ozerden ordered Mississippi to join most other states in allowing religious exemptions from childhood vaccinations. His ruling came in a lawsuit filed last year by several parents who said their religious beliefs have led them to keep their children unvaccinated and out of Mississippi schools. The lawsuit, funded by the Texas-based Informed Consent Action Network, argued that Mississippi's lack of religious exemption for childhood vaccinations violates the U.S. Constitution. According to court papers filed on behalf of Dr. Daniel Edney, the state health officer, the Mississippi State Department of Health website will publish information about how people can seek religious exemptions. According to the National Conference of State Legislatures, the only states without religious or personal belief exemptions for school immunization requirements have been California, Connecticut, Maine, Mississippi, New York, and West Virginia. Well, what I can say right off the bat is that this makes my ass want a dip of snuff. Can you even stand my religious exemption for wanting to stay healthy? I would get vaccinated for split ends. What have you got? What have you got? If science has come up with a way to keep me healthier, like I'm not going to get a thing, or if I get it, it won't be as bad, or I won't have it as long. What do you got? What do you got? I've been vaccinated for shingles. I've been vaccinated for Mpox. I've been vaccinated for COVID 4 or 5 times, however many times you can get. I'm vaccinated for pneumonia every 5 years. I'm vaccinated for the flu every year. As a child, I was always being vaccinated for everything. Measles, rubella, all of it, polio. It's saved. We live now to be almost 100. And guess why? Because these things don't take us out when we're 30.
Yes.
Because we don't lose every third child in childbirth. So I don't understand. And I don't understand just making up. Okay, if you're Christian Science, your whole religion is based on we don't do medicine. Okay, I'm going to give it to you, Christian Science. And if you're Jehovah's Witness, and I don't understand it, but they've got a whole thing: no blood transfusion or organ transfusion. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to give you that. I don't know if that works for vaccinations, but they've got a thing. It really is in their written theology. Okay, fine. But I just decided that after I got all my childhood vaccinations, that I'm not going to get these vaccinations or some, like it used to be good, but now it's bad. I've just decided, God told me, no, what? I didn't go to nursing school. I didn't go to pharmacy school. I didn't go to medical school. I don't have a PhD in biochemistry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These people are telling me, and so far so good. I'm alive. I feel good. And so I just don't understand that I've just made up that I believe that I just know more than medical science. I think it's unwise. I think it's a dangerous precedent. And you're hurting your own kids. You should keep them out of school if you're not getting them vaccinated because they're going to get sick. Mm-hmm. They're going to get meningitis. They're going to get HPV. They're going to get something you don't want them to have. And they don't have to get.
Right.
Because we have vaccinations. I think, of course, we all have our own religious views and moral views, but I think it's actually immoral to keep life-saving vaccinations from people.
I think this is a bit of a government overreach, despite religion being involved in it. I think I recall stories of my childhood growing up that it was a requirement that your mother took you, or a parent or somebody took you down to the county health department to get all your vaccinations before going back to school, whichever term it may have been. And they were religious about being religious about that, making sure that our children had what they need in order to be healthy, to be around others, and all this other stuff. And I just cannot imagine today trying to claim a religious exemption because I'm listening to the government versus listening to my doctor. Mm-hmm. I recently, part of my self-care, I recently saw my doctor, and she was going through this whole list of stuff about things, and I appreciate hearing her take on things that are coming out and things that are coming up. So yes, I'm going to listen to my doctor versus some politician telling me what I should or shouldn't take because they don't have, they didn't get a law degree from 7-Eleven. My doctor, I know where she went to school. Her credentials are on the wall, right. And I stand with her and by her and whatever recommendation she's given me around my own health care. And I think for parents who are not allowing their children to be vaccinated by school, it's not only what you're doing to your own child, but it's what you're also potentially doing to someone else's child.
Thank you.
This is about caring for each other, and caring for each other means let's be responsible.
Now there are. And I'm pretty much an evidence-based kind of person. I take some things on faith, I guess, but mostly I need to know where you came up with this. Mm-hmm. And some people think that because there's a correlation but not a causation. They think, well, this happened, but then this other thing happened. Mm-hmm. So my kid has this other problem. I bet it was from those vaccinations. Well, what does the study say? Let's look it up. Let's ask somebody, because it might not have anything to do with that. Do you know, for years and years and years, same thing. I heard one thing on the radio, and it was a credible source, but one thing. I heard that the flu shot, if you got the flu shot, was, I think, maybe 5 years in a row, that increased your chances of Alzheimer's. Mm. I went years getting the flu every year because I wouldn't get that shot because it's something silly. So I found, you know what I finally did? 100 years later, I asked my doctor. Mm. She laughed in my face, told me that it was inherited, like you were going to get it or not, but you could prevent the flu. Mm-hmm. And she said, there's nothing in it that causes neuro. So anyway, and you know what? Since I started getting it, my health overall, I just feel better overall. So anyway, yes, if we listen to silliness, we can scare ourselves into making really unwise choices. But there is somebody who passed a state exam and does this for a living every day and probably been doing it for decades, and they know stuff, and they go to conferences every year. Ask somebody.
Imagine that.
Just ask somebody.
Well, this might surprise you. I am a child of the 1950s. I was born in mid-1950. And as we were growing up, they invented the polio vaccine. And I remember all of us going down to the health center and getting our little polio vaccine on a sugar cube. Then we had the little cards. Everybody had their little vaccination cards for whatever vaccination was available. And we couldn't go to school. We couldn't really hang out with anybody until we had our shots or our little sugar cube. What we also had were measles parties.
Yes.
There was not a vaccination for German measles, for example. And when one child in the neighborhood got the measles, everybody was over at that child's house getting the measles. Because our parents said, we're not going to go through this little by little by little. Everybody's going to get the measles at the same time.
Wow.
I correlate that with the availability of vaccines now.
Yeah.
You don't have to get the measles. You don't have to get polio.
Well, they were trying to create a natural vaccination. They're trying
the herd immunity.
Because once you get it, you won't get it again.
Exactly.
They were creating their, well, now you don't have to do that.
That you don't. It's no longer necessary that you do that.
Yes.
And for me, right now, it is really a personal kind of thing because I've got family members whose children are not being vaccinated. So we asked the question, well, what are you going to do about school? We're going to homeschool them. They don't have degrees in education. They don't have degrees in science. They don't have degrees in anything, but they're going to homeschool their children because they're afraid of a vaccination. That scares me more than a little bit.
I could teach my kids history, but they'd be in a world of hurt if I had to teach them math.
I'm telling you.
I believe in pros. I believe in professionals doing stuff. We are excited to tell you we are going on a cruise in the Eastern Mediterranean this fall that will include the world's major religious sites for Christians, Jews, and Muslims as we visit Athens. I love Athens. And Egypt, first time going. And Israel, I love Israel. And Ephesus, first time going. I'm excited, can you tell? And on our 3 continents cruise. And you can find out more and reserve your space at happeningout.travel/sunshine.
Join Reverend Dr. Darrell Watkins and Reverend Dr. Robert Griffin as they host more than 50 people on the Sunshine Cathedral 13-day cruise tour to 3 continents. From just $13.99, you'll visit Athens and cruise to Egypt and the Giza Plateau to see the Great Pyramid, Sphinx, and brand new Egyptian National Museum with King Tut exhibit. Then to Israel for Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. Don't miss the most important Christian UNESCO site in the world, located in Turkey, and the 3,000-year-old city of Ephesus. You also cruise the Med for Rhodes in the Greek Isles and Cyprus. A farewell at the Acropolis makes this a never-before combination of historic sites, a must-do cruise. It's all turnkey inclusive, and a bar is available, all transfers, escorts, hotels, and more. Go to happeningout.travel/sunshine for complete details.
Would you like to join the Queer God Squad on a special winter cruise in 2024? Well, now you can. You will visit Cozumel, Mexico, Grand Cayman, and Ocho Rios. And you can even add an open bar and Wi-Fi. Join us by going to happeningout.travel/sunshine.
Join the Queer God Squad and Sunshine Cathedral for a wonderful Caribbean cruise on the brand new Ultra Deluxe MSC Seascape. The 8-day cruise starts at just $399 plus government taxes. Sail February 10th, 2024 from Miami to Ocean Cay MSC Marine Reserve, the world's best private island. You'll also visit Cozumel, Mexico, Grand Cayman, and Ocho Rios. Join us on an 8-day Caribbean cruise. This winter cruise will be the perfect getaway and an opportunity to support Sunshine Cathedral as a beneficiary. The trip is affordable for all, as you can make a reservation on this cruise for just $1, just a buck, to confirm your reservation, and then there's a $99 interest-free monthly payment plan, so it's easy on your pockets. What's more, there's also a free open bar and Wi-Fi program when you pay for just 1 day, $25 transfers to and from the Miami Pier, and an exclusive onboard entertainment program for Sunshine Cathedral guests. This cruise will be a perfect winter getaway for you. Join us by going to happeningout.travel/sunshine.
That's today with the Queer God Squad. We want to thank you for joining us. We are here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and talk about what our LGBTQ plus community is talking about.
Sunshine Cathedral is the world's largest progressive queer church. Progressive, queer, and God are words that naturally should go together. And we are all in this together. Remember that.
You are God's miracle, not God's mistake.
Until next time, we are the Queer God Squad. Goodbye.
Bye.